Sometimes a man must admit when he's wrong. I must say, I was wrong about Andy Mineo. Here's why.
Yokohama class from Alabama to Baltimore. Somehow ended up in Kawagoe, Kowedo, Dinko, Shigaya, and now Midori War, my new home. Yeah, they know. It's your boy, Dory Darrell. Got another story to tell.
Alright, this is your boy, Dorian Andrews, aka Dory Darrell, with the Dory Darrell Music Channel. Thank you guys for always liking, commenting, and subscribing. Today, I have to make a very clear confession about Andy Mineo, who is a Christian rapper from New York. And when I first listened to him, I loved Background when he featured with Lecrae as Sealight. I remember back in the days, yeah, he wasn't Andy Mineo always. And then he signed to Reach Records, and then he came out with Formerly Known, which I still think is one of his best albums ever. And after that, he came out with Uncomfortable. Of course, he had Heroes for Sale before that, and then he had, I think, Neverland, which is an EP. When he came out with Uncomfortable, man, oh man, I tell you, he just flipped the Christian hip-hop genre upside down with that album, because it was more thought-provoking, politically charged. It was more emotional, like storytelling about his family, and I just loved every minute of it. So the concept of the album was so good.
Starting out with discomfort, and by the end of the album, you're kind of like comfortable with being uncomfortable.
And then I felt he kind of declined in quality when he did The Arrow and the Sword. I didn't care too much about those EPs at the time. I mean, I loved his podcast. The podcast was awesome. But once he put out The Work in Progress, I could see why those were songs that he didn't feel confident in putting together as a full-on album. So they were kind of just concepts. The only one I can really remember off the top of my head was Keeping It Moving with Governor Beat. Like, that was a good song. No, that's a lie. The other song I really liked was that 1984 song. And he was talking about time. And I think that was during his birthday he made that song. Because at the end of the song, there's a clip of his birthday. It was a good album, but not memorable for me. So I felt like after Uncomfortable, everything just started kind of like slowly declining, or like plateauing in a sense, where the growth in his artistry wasn't really there. And he talked about it, how he had writer's block, and he was struggling trying to get inspiration, and life was just happening. He got married, and he was trying to figure out what to do with his career. And I Ain't Done was a clear indicator that he was struggling, but that was such a triumphant song, and I love that. But I must say, at the age of 30, I turned 30 in April. I listened to The Sword and the Arrow yesterday while I was just walking around my local shops and doing some grocery shopping. I live in Yokohama, if you guys don't know. In Yokohama, there is very, very clear benefit of convenience. So the banks, you got the city hall, you got the restaurants like Caesarea, Mr. Donut. You have all these places everywhere. You got Daiso for your dollar store goods that you need to buy. So I'm just doing all of my runs. And while I was doing that, I decided to listen to The Sword and the Arrow. And my gosh, I was wrong. I was so wrong. This album is genius for a person who is thinking about getting into music, or a person who is making music, because everybody can relate to these kinds of feelings, right? People who just use you for your name, people who use you for your resources. In the song Friends, thoughts on writer's block and trying to get clarity and feeling like your mind is in a fog when you're trying to create and you're trying to talk to God, but you feel like he won't listen. All of these thoughts are in these 2 EPs. And then he also talks about the relationship with his father and the emotional damage that has caused him, which anybody can relate to. And when I first heard it, I thought it was boring. I'm like, man, can you stop talking about your dad? But the more I listened to it, it was like this was a therapy session for him. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think I took it for granted how good Andy Mineo is with his writing ability and his intricacy. Anxiety, clarity, even the 2 smaller tracks in I've Been and Lost. I mean, Lost is a little bit longer, but even those songs are good. If I had to choose one, I would say The Sword is better. The Sword has Friends in there. Crazy was good. Shame, we all feel that. None of My Business was a good song too. And Donuts was good. Like, just the whole, the instrumentals behind each song is very relaxed, laid back, the style that I like. But this is my lane, you know, and I've been having my struggles with God recently just about my work and why I'm in the situation that I'm in and what are the next steps for me. Should I leave Japan? Should I move to a different place in Japan? The Bible talks about God not being the author of confusion. So he knows exactly what he's doing with my life. I just don't know. And right now I'm constantly seeking him for an answer. And I only get bits and pieces of the answer, but not the whole point. But I think that is what God wants. He wants us to enjoy the journey instead of knowing the destination and knowing every single thing that we're going to do. After listening to it again, it made me realize how relatable Andy Mineo's lyrics are. And I was so wrong. This album is amazing. So if you have the chance, please listen to Andy Mineo's The Arrow and the Sword. And the guy is really funny, so if you get a chance, look at I Ain't Done, the music video. It's hilarious. Like, comment, and subscribe for all the latest information coming to this channel. I got an album coming out August 8th, Graduation, Full Ceremony. And there's a lot of features on there, including Dre Murray, Christian hip-hop legend. I am so excited to work with him for the 2nd time this year. Yamashita Park, the alternate mix featuring Dre Murray is out now. Please check it out if you are interested in his music and wanting to learn more about my music. So, this is your boy, Dorian Andrews, aka Dory Darrell, signing out. Deuce.